Hello, I am Kodili-nye, the son of the wonderful. This is another round of street blogging, and we are here to discuss. And I do believe that you will enjoy what we are talking about. Some of you might be very bitter because we are here to hammer it as none other people do that. There is a lot of noise about the internally generated revenues by the states, where you saw from what they released, according to the 2024 release, that Lagos, River State, Federal Capital Territory, you also have Ogun State and Enugu State as the five states that generate more internally. But what people has not actually looked into is what I'm going to discuss here. I am so Kodili-nye, the son of wonderful. I urge you to share this so that we can actually do something that is extraordinary. Because what we need to do in Nigeria, in homeland now, is how far about looking after people and drawing people from the poverty index. Because if you are looking at generating internally generated revenues from predominantly poor people, it's a recipe for disaster. If the government has not been able to provide most of the things that will make life meaningful to the people, and making sure that their pay, actually they will be able to live on it, is really not really good to be talking about huge internally generated revenue. I give you an example. In Lagos, you ask yourself, has life improved for average Lagosian? That's what you need to ask yourself. You can see that there is a lot of problem in Lagos, in spite of the quantum money they are actually calling. But those money they are calling, actually, remember, this is only 1/3 or I would say 5% to what can be generated in Lagos. But most of others are basically stolen. It's not actually the true figure they are declaring, because what happened is that Nigeria run on Lagos because of the imbalanced system, not actually operating like a federation. Everything you must push it to Lagos. So that's why, making it difficult for other federating units to operate. So because of that, that's why Nigeria is not growing economically the way it should grow, and it's not creating enough jobs that can spread around to other people. So the indices is there. You can actually, there's no point of arguing on that. But what I'm trying to explain now is that the solution to all these things is basically to, first of all, make sure that the population, the basic needs of the population are provided. Let me give you an example. In my state of Anambra State, and many other states, you will find out that the basics the people needed are not being provided. Let me give you an example. Clean drinking water, which is not a rocket science, that any government that means business in the population centers will be able to achieve this within 6 months or highest 1 year. So making sure that the water is running from house to house. And by so doing, you actually reduce the urban poverty, and you also improve the health of the people, and also it will also increase the environmental cleanliness of the state. And also, now you also generate money from this water, because even if you use the lowest benchmark of 100 naira per room in most of residential areas, not on the commercial properties, but I'm talking about residential areas, not on high expensive zones or something, not on industries, but I mean the most populated areas in the like, let me give you an example. In Onitsha, you use 100 naira per room, the government will generate a lot of money billions that will also help to, invest in other areas. So now, another thing is this: you talk about schools. How is the affordability of the schools? How about the hospitals? Can the people actually be able to see a doctor within an hour? Would they be able to afford the medication? The medication, is it subsidized? Another thing is agriculture, food security. How far is the food security? How is affordable the food? Can the people that are being paid in there be able to afford the food? That's another question. These are things that are bases that are actually lacking. And how about the security of life and property? So you now see that most of these states are struggling on that because they are not doing the first thing first, but they are thinking of trying to squeeze people of the available money. You can see that the minimum wage in Nigeria now cannot buy you a bag of rice, which is unlike before. The minimum wage can buy you 2 or 3 bags of rice, and you still have some change. So now it means that the money has no value. And you think about that, how can somebody being paid 70,000 be able to build house where a bag of cement is 10,000 something a bag? I mean a bag. So this is what is happening, fueling the poverty and fueling the inequality in Nigeria. So now let me face Anambra State. If a state like Anambra State want to grow the economy, first of all, you need to do the basics. The basics is what I just mentioned, provision of pipe-borne water from house to house, making sure that the education is for all. I mean that the government can easily subsidize the education, even if it's using the model that government invests so much in education, more than what is investing at the moment. I will not say that they are not investing, but they need to do more. In the health, I mean they have to do health system that is affordable, that everybody, even if you don't have money, will be able to have choice to actually have a doctor that will look after you. And also in food security, they need to, in that area is also another endemic area, that the food is very, very expensive. There is no coherent policy on food at the moment from the Anambra State government for over 3 years and something. There is no plan to say, okay, we are going to make provision for agricultural implements and the policy that will basically replace most of those food that are being brought far away from the state, that make it very expensive, to produce local food that can actually enhance the well-being of the people. How about having food terminals and all those things? These are things they need to do, because once the people are hungry, they are also angry. And in terms of security, I think the security has started improving. But what I'm trying to look at is a long-term security that can, withstand any problem. And that security involves making security to be very local, from village to village, from town to town, to the city to city. And what that entails is that if you want to have a watertight security, if you can secure most of village by village, basically this will also create jobs. Security is one of the ways to improve internally generated revenue and bring in investment, because security is also an industry. It will absorb a lot of unemployed youths from the street, and also give them future, and also give them well-paid job with other incentives like bonuses and a lot of other things. This will actually help to enhance the economy and also help to improve on the investment climate in the state of Anambra. But I don't think they think like that. It seems that they think security investment is a West investment. It's not a West investment, because there are a lot of benefit to derive from it. Security in America, in most of these developed countries, contribute to overall GDP, because once you have a secure place, what happens is that tourism and industries and investors will be flooding into that state, and at the same time, those people you are employing in the security sectors will be able to feed their family, because a lot of money are paid them and a lot of things provided for them. So they will also help to improve the local economy, because they have to pay to buy things in the market. They have to buy
other like building material. They do a lot of things. They drive cars, which means that they spend on fuel, and they also pay tax. This is not a rocket science. It's something that even a person on the street can even understand. So now, environment, getting the environment tidied up. At the moment, the environment is not something to write home about. Environmental services is very important for the health and well-being of the people. This will also help to create thousands of jobs, absorbing people from unemployment. And when you have all done these things, what now happen now when you now move in to talk about other things? You can do all this in peripesu. The most important thing is to make sure that you create jobs that is well-paid jobs that can actually sustain people, that what you are paying them will be able to sustain them, to look after their family, to pay their house rent, and do other things that concern them. It's not just about squeezing the people with heavy taxation. Heavy taxation is not really good when you have mostly poor people in your state. So what my advice is basically to tell the governors that they need to go to the drawing board, first of all, to create jobs, well-paying jobs that can help out. I will suggest in the part 2 what they need to do so that they can do that. Creating jobs are not a rocket science. But in Nigeria, everything is a rocket science. The government are not intentionally looking after the people. The government are basically for themselves. That's why you up to the years Nigeria has existed, or even Anambra State, you cannot talk about 24-hour electricity in the state, because the government has not seen it as essential to the life itself. So that's what we are talking about. I don't know what you think. Is it all right to be just squeezing the people of the money that is like in Lagos and other places, so in the name of having a lot of internally generated revenue, which is actually stolen later on, that is not accountable for how they are using the money? There's no checks and balance. But I leave it for part 2, and we will continue from there. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful time. I am still Kodili-nye, the son of the wonderful. Stay tuned.